Welcome. Good to be with you. This is the word of the Lord for those who are older, as women, ladies who are over 40. When you pass 40, you're no longer a child or just a young person. You are becoming one of the senior people in our land. And what does God have to say to you as an older person? This is what he has to say in Titus chapter 2, verse 3. It says, similarly, teach the older women to live in a way that honors God. They must not slander others or be heavy drinkers. Instead, they should teach others what is good. So this is God's mind for you. If you are a lady over 40, he's saying this to you that primarily you should live your life in such a way that honors God. That means you want to please God, you want to put him first, and you want to consider him in all your ways. You know, when we honor God, it makes all the difference in the way we live our lives. You know, by honoring God, we are putting premium on our spiritual life. We are saying that God is the owner and the final authority in our lives. As a lady, I know you have your feelings, I know you have your attitudes, but remember this, whatever you do with your feelings, whatever you do with your attitude, see that it honors God. Let God be honored in everything you do. When you do that, you become honorable. You become well respected, particularly among those who are godly. Then he says something else in there. Said they must not slander others. As a lady that is getting to become more mature, said you should be careful with your words. You know, slander has to do with negative words that cut people down, cutting remarks, discouraging statements that we speak to make others not find their feet and live well. You know, your words can make or your words can break, particularly in your family, toward your husband, or toward your children, toward your friends, toward your colleagues. Learn to speak in such a way that you don't cut anyone down. The Bible says everything we say must be spiced with grace so that we know what to say to each person. So I want to challenge you today to begin to speak words that are meaningful, words that are powerful, that are positive, because the older you get, the more influence you have among people, particularly your family. And if you have children, spouse, they go a long way. Even if you're not married, you have certain kind of clout you've developed over the years. And God wants you to speak words that will lift people up. Let people love to be around you. Let them desire to keep company with you, because your words will lift, your words will encourage, and your word will change them for good. So learn to make people come alive with your words. He said they must not slander others. You know, as a woman, you may find it easily to just talk, but then talk positive, talk powerful, talk encouragingly. That will go a long way. So, and he said, don't be also heavy drinkers. You know, this has to do with addiction. This has to do with substance use. This has to do with life in general. Learning to operate in moderation. You know, I know a lot of ladies, sometimes you want to struggle with your weight and things like that. You want to keep fit. Now, remember this. You know, moderation is the best thing. It's not extreme. Not extremely thin, extremely fat kind of a thing people want, but extreme. Just maintain moderation. When it comes to, you know, addiction, we must learn not to become slave of anything. We must not become slave of food, slave of drug, slave of feelings, slave of attitude, even slave of relationships. They can become addictive. You know, anything else that is outside God that you depend on with all of your life is addictive. So learn to just be not heavy user of substance. Just learn to be moderate in everything you do. And then finally, he says this, when you are a lady, let me read that verse again, Titus 2 verse 3. Similarly, teach the older women to live in a way that honors God. They must not slander others or be heavy drinkers. Instead, they should teach others what is good. So you must actually make goodness your ultimate aim. You're going to declare good. You're going to speak good. You're going to act good. You're going to do good. You're going to touch life. You're going to be a blessing. Wherever you go, surely goodness shall follow you all the days of your life. That's what matters here. So Today, I challenge you to make goodness your priority, to always be good. Bible says about that virtuous woman, she shall do her husband good all the days of her life. Your children, they should see your goodness. Your friends will see your goodness. And even society at large will see your goodness. And your neighbors will see your goodness. So remember this, that God wants you to live life that is honorable. And second, He wants you to use your words carefully, not to cut, but to encourage and to lift up and to bless. And then also He said, don't get into addiction and don't get into what will take you to extreme. Live a life of moderation. And finally, be a teacher of goodness. Wherever you go, promote and instruct goodness. Thank you for listening.